What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Jordan. Thank you for joining me tonight. And if you're one of my new subscribers, welcome back for video number 3. On this channel, which is my second channel, we do backgammon board reviews and unboxings. This is a new project for me. I have a huge love of the game of backgammon and almost as big a love of the boards themselves. I love collecting them, experiencing and enjoying the craftsmanship of the different ones. And the board I have today is kind of a controversial one that's generated a bit of buzz. This is the Pointworks board from Amazon. It's crazy affordable for what it is. And in this video, I'm going to talk about all of the specs, talk about the measurements, the play surface, the checkers, the things that I like about it, the things that are not so good about it, hopefully help you make a decision whether or not you want to pick one up for yourself. Before I dive into talking about this board, if you are not a subscriber, I'd love to have you join. Hopefully you're as big of a backgammon board lover as myself, and following this channel will be beneficial or bring you some enjoyment. So subscribe and ring the notification bell. I will do another poll when this video comes out tomorrow for which board you want to see reviewed next. So I have a Chrysloid, I have a Wycliffe Brothers, a Silverman & Co. I just barely got an Art Gammon board, although I want to get some more playtime on that before I review it. So watch to the end, vote in the poll when it comes out. I would love to have you around for future videos. So what is the Pointworks Backgammon board? You may have seen something about it on one of the Backgammon Facebook groups. Basically, this is a not full tournament size, but a very good sized wood frame board with nice thick checkers, wooden dice cups, and included removable bear-off/storage tray. And this whole vibe of this board is very reminiscent of the FM Gammon or the Backgammon Galaxy boards. Whether you want to call this a ripoff or a homage, it's whatever you want to call it. I still think it's a great value, and I'm going to tell you why I think that. However, there are a few caveats to it. So starting off, Amazon, there's no special tricks to ordering this. I will preface it by saying that because this board is so affordable and the materials are pretty dang good for what they are, I think the thing in like the triangle of benefits you can have with price or speed or quality, they are missing out a little bit on the quality control. The board itself, when you get one that is assembled well, is very high quality. However, this is board number 3 for me. I actually had to return this board twice to get one that had the fit and the finish that I wanted. So I'm prefacing it with that. You may not get a perfect one out of the gate, but when you do get one, you will probably be pretty impressed. So let's get some measurements closed. Most importantly, the length. I mentioned this is not quite tournament. It's 20 inches long and it is 11 inches wide closed. So about 22 inches wide when it's open. The length is pretty close to tournament. The width is pretty shallow, and that's because the bear-off trays and the cup holders and all that stuff are in a separate removable container, which you'll see in just a moment. Now, you've got the Pointworks logo on the front right here. It's gold. It looks really great, actually. You've got an indent here to open this up. This is a magnetic closure board, and the magnets are quite strong, and this is a very heavy board. Nothing about this is compact. It's extremely thick. Actually, let me get a measurement of the thickness real quick. This is just over 3.5 inches thick. So this is like a tabletop, like a coffee table board. It's heavy. You're not taking this on the go. At least I would never choose to, because it's just so bulky. The hinges on the back look good. They're gold. They are not hidden in any way. So if you're averse to hinges, you're going to have to get used to it with these, but they're good quality when you get them aligned right. We'll get to that in a moment. Wood finish on the exterior. I'm not sure what kind of wood this is. Probably cheap. One of my first boards that I had to return, the corner separated on one of the sides, so sent that sucker back. The second board I sent back because the bar was not quite aligned right. Let me put the camera overhead. We'll open this up. We'll talk about the play surface, the checkers, and how I have enjoyed playing on this board. Now that we're up close, you can see the finish on the wood here. It's actually quite thick. It doesn't feel flimsy at all. Some of my Gammon Village boards feel a little bit thin with the material they use, but this is actually quite thick. The glue on the edges a bit iffy according to that first board. This one, however, it's been 6 months, no issues so far, playing a lot of games on it. So let's crack this open. Again, those magnets are quite strong. This is the play surface. The color scheme looks really nice. The printing is actually quite sharp. You will notice when they attach this edge, the surface to the edge, some of the corners are pulled. It's not quite aligned 100%. Like the gap here between the point and the bar is a little bit bigger than the gap over there. But this is nitpicking for the price of this board. Now, this foam comes with it. I've kept it to keep the bear off and storage tray centered. I don't want that like clanging around because it's so heavy, but you don't have to keep those if you don't want. Now, I'm gonna pull this out. We'll get to that in just a moment. Let's talk about the play surface. It's a very porous microfiber, almost like mouse pad like material. Let's get this a little bit that way. I feel like this is probably, of all the surfaces I have, the most stain prone. I've been very careful around this board to not stain it, but I feel like this would not resist a stain in the slightest if you spilled on it. So that's not proven by me. I'm not going to test it, but it feels very porous and like it could absorb an oil or something at a moment's notice. It's like got a mouse pad like texture. It's very squishy, like memory foam almost, and bounces back. It's nice and soft, and the checkers glide well on it. I just worry about getting it dirty. Now, let's crack this open. Again, magnet closure, very, very strong magnets. We'll split that out here. And before I talk about the checkers and the cups, you'll notice that the inside of my bear off trays are black. It did not come like that. These were just plain wood, and they clacked a lot, and it was very loose, and I wanted it to look a little bit nicer. So I got a $10 pack of sticky backed velvet on Amazon, and I got an X-Acto knife, and I painstakingly cut out shapes for all of my bear off trays and my storage trays, and then also the inside of my dice cups. This is just to reduce the noise of the board, make it look a little bit nicer. Bear in mind that this comes with bare wood on it, and it's quite noisy. So that's one side. You can put that over here to get kind of a uniform look. And then this side has our checkers and our cups. We'll do checkers in a minute. Cups first, very basic, same wood as the board, quite thin, very loud without the foam, but with the foam, very muted, which I like. The dice that they include are actually pretty nice. No like scuffs or marks out of the pips. Actually, of most of the dice I own, there's some of the better ones. They roll really well, and they sound, again, pretty good in the cup. The surface is very muted and padded, if you can't tell. We've got our white ones right here. All of these are marbled to match the checkers. Now let's talk about the checkers. Again, I don't think for a board for $130, you're gonna get checkers that look and feel this good. You can listen to those. They're very thick, they're very heavy, and the marbling on them looks great, with one caveat being that the marbling is not uniform. So if we turn these this way, you can see that the marbling on this side kind of smudged. This is probably the bottom edge where all of the dye fell. On this side, the marbling is beautiful. So, budget board, that's kind of what you're dealing with. Again, I think the weight, the size, these checkers just feel so dang good. So let me get them set up here. The sound, again, just like my FM Gammon, of the wood clacking on the edge of the board is great. And it's also worth noting that they fit side to side perfectly, which is something to be said for a budget board. So to have checkers fit with, like, you know, a millimeter or two of play is really nice, and you don't see that in a lot of boards, especially any board that you're gonna buy on Amazon for around $100. So let's get the rest of these set up here. What am I doing? Yeah, there. Here's these. I swear every time I'm filming and setting up at the same time, it makes it seem like I have no idea what I'm doing. Okay, so here's the black checkers. Again, good marbling on one side, meh colors marbling on the other. You gotta give and you gotta take with the budget boards. All right, and then there's those, and that rounds out our setup. Now the doubling cube is also quite nice, pretty medium size, nothing to write home about. Gold numbers there, marbling in the black, feels nice. I like it. So this is what the board looks like set up. We'll do a couple rolls. We'll see how things go here. 6 and 1, you love to see it. Beautiful. Come over here. 3-in-1 shoe. Good opening rolls here, yeah. Let white play another roll. 5 and 4. This is where my newbiness is probably going to show. I mean, I think we can bring a 5 down here and probably the 4 as well. And then we'll give black one more turn. Oh, double 5s, probably down and over, yeah. Correct my play in the comments. I'd appreciate it. Let me just show again how these things pack up, and while I'm doing that, it is worth mentioning that the checkers in the trays don't fit perfectly. So if you do 5 in a tray, you got a lot of slop. That's my other really big gripe with this board. I think you can fit 6, which is beautiful, right? But then you don't have an even number to put in each tray. So like we could do the 6. Oh shoot, I can drop them down in there. So the tolerances just on this board are not exceptional, right? So then you've got these just random 3 on this side. So I like the uniformity more than I like the lack of play. But that's one thing that's worth bringing up with this board. Then we throw this back on here. Ooh, like those magnets are heavy enough that it's holding the entire thing without me supporting the bottom. I put my foam in so this doesn't clack around, and we'll close that up. And there you have it. That is the Pointworks 20-inch backgammon board. I've said it throughout the whole video. The quality control leaves a lot to be desired, but when you get a board that is actually done right, I think this is probably the best value for the money that you can get. I respect FM Gammon and Backgammon Galaxy. I love the FM Gammon board that I have, which I reviewed in my last video. But if you are someone who doesn't own any backgammon board and you're not ready to drop $700, $800, $1,000 on a Backgammon Galaxy board, this is pretty dang good. I think this is probably the best board you're gonna get on Amazon, directly sold by Amazon, unless you're buying from a third-party retailer through Amazon, something like a Monopolis or a Silverman & Co. or something like that. But even then, you're not gonna get a 20-inch board. You're not gonna get the beautiful checkers that this has and the weight and the feel of this board. So while it may be iffy for some people, I give it a thumbs up. I think it's worth having in my collection. It's different from what else, the other boards that I have, and until I can afford the real thing, I'm pretty happy with it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure that you like it. Leave a comment down below with your thoughts on whether or not you would pick up one of these boards, and remember to answer the poll when I release it on what board you want me to review next. I'd love to have you as a subscriber. If you're not, you can ring the notification bell so that you don't miss the reviews coming in the future. Hopefully a few more daily for the rest of this week, and then regular reviews after that. I'm already thinking about what I'm gonna buy next, even though my Art Gammon arrived today. So I appreciate you watching, and hopefully I see you next time.